Hey guys, KRaM here, coming at you with a new video, Just Life Story. This life story is going to be about my DMT trip. Now, I just wanted to say, don't go out and do DMT just because of the stuff you see in this video. It is a very intense drug, and you should never go out and do something just because you see it in a YouTube video. Now, this story takes place just a couple hours ago. Now, you might be like, why are you doing a life story if you just tripped on DMT a few hours ago? And what I have to say to those people is DMT only lasts for a small amount of time, hence the reason why people who have done DMT say it is a very intense drug and you should always start with a watered down psychedelic before trying DMT. Now, what I mean by watered down is like shrooms or acid. Now, I'm not saying like shrooms and acid are psychedelic to, just to get into like that, but I would say to start with shrooms if you were to get into psychedelics. Okay, now let's get into the video. The reason I'm making this life story a few hours after the trip is because it is still really fresh in my mind, even though it is something that I could never forget, because the stuff that happened during the trip is very detailed, and I can get more details into the video since it is fresher in my mind, as if I were to make the video a few days or a few months or even a year after taking it. I'm going to tell my trip story from start to finish, so let's get right into this. So I got the DMT from a friend, and this guy was close to my sister, and there was a summer where I wasn't really talking to any of my friends, so I just hung out with my sister and her friends. And there was this one kid who was really into psychedelic drugs, and I've always been interested in drugs like that, so I met up with him and he gave me the DMT and we hung out for a bit. I went back to my house, and it was around 8 o'clock when I got back to my house. I smoked the DMT around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I felt the effects after 20 seconds after I smoked it. I quickly got up and went to my bed and laid in my bed on my back, and I just remember looking up at my ceiling. I had my computer on and I didn't look over at it at all. I remember just seeing the monitors out of the corner of my eye. Also, I have a lamp on my setup, and I didn't have any tabs on my computer that would, make different colors of light. Same with the lamp. I didn't have any different color light bulbs in the light. For some reason, it's just a plain light bulb that wouldn't change the colors at all. So I was just laying there face up in my bed, and my vision was getting smaller and smaller to a pinpoint, and I could basically see everything in my room, from my door to my reptile tanks to my computer, everything, my closet, all in this little pinpoint. And I did have music playing. I had 5 AM by Logic, and I remember hearing the instrumentals, and his voice was muffled in the background. And again, I was just looking up at my ceiling, and the way the paint is on my ceiling, it swirls, and I just looked up at it through the whole experience, and it was just flowing around the room, and it was all perfectly connected. And as I looked at it, it was just flowing in the background to the music. So in the instrumentals of 5 AM, the instrumentals randomly stop, and as the instrumentals stop, the flow of the paint on the ceiling stopped too. And sometimes it would go in slow motion, so all these swirls on the ceiling were just going in slow motion, and sometimes just stopping and then going along to the music again. And it was honestly pretty dope. And then randomly my eyes started to shut, even though I had my eyes, I was trying my hardest to keep my eyes open, but I couldn't. And the veins in my eyes were pulsing, so it looked like glowing blood or whatever was going down to the center of my eye, and it was just going down the veins. And then the flow in the veins started going along with the music too. And then my eyes just shut the fuck open. All the light in the room was entirely green. It felt like I was flying over my bed as my bed sunk down, and I was floating up. Then I grabbed onto my sheets, and it was I warped back into reality, and everything was all normal for a couple seconds. I was still looking up at the ceiling, and the craziest shit happened. So all the paint on my ceiling formed into a face, and it shot me back into my bed, into this doors from my bed opened up or something like that, and I fell through my bed into this dark room. And I was in this room with all these historical famous people, but I had no clue who any of them were. So I was like, the fuck is happening? But for some reason I knew that they were like famous and they were very important people, and they were all like in a line going down to this end, to that like end of this room. Well, it wasn't really a room, it was just like a black space. It was just like space, emptiness. But like you could tell there was a floor and all that. So one by one, these people on each side of each other were just like, they were looking at me, and then they stepped back. And at the end of like this row of like 50 people on each side, so there was like 100 famous people. At the end of this row was my pap, and he died in '08. So I started to walk towards him, and as I get like 5 feet away from him, I shot back up like into my room, and like there was like doors in my bed. I remember looking up, there was like doors in my bed, and I came up, I floated up, it felt like I floated up, and then the doors shut and I fell back down on my bed. And I remember just looking up at the ceiling, and all the paint started to unform from this face, and the pinpoint, like my pinpoint vision started to like go back to normal, slowly though. And as it slowly went back to normal, like all the paint started to slowly go back to normal too. And then like all the lighting was okay again, it was all normal. And I just remember sitting back up and like asking myself so many questions about like life and all this other shit like that. And yeah, now there were so many more questions that I like wanted to ask myself, and I wanted to tell you in this video, but this video is kind of getting long. It's over 10 minutes, I think, as I might edit it down. But yeah, if you guys want a part 2 to this video, just leave a like, and yeah, remember to stay awesome, don't do drugs, and peace out. Hey guys, KRaM here, coming at you with a new video, Social Life Story. Now, this isn't really a life story. This is the end of my video. Thank you for sticking to the end. I just wanted to say, don't go out and do DMT or any drug that you see in my videos. This is just like a little disclaimer, so yeah, you can click away if you want. Drugs could really fuck up your life, especially if you're around the wrong type of people. I do them because I want a new experience. You guys might want a new experience too, but I'm not saying to go out and do drugs. Again, they could really fuck up your life, and yeah, they've messed up a couple people's in my life. It's just overall fuck up of a time, and you don't want that to happen. So yeah, stay in school. I don't really know what else to say other than to like not do drugs. Don't do the shit that I do, basically. Every time you see one of my life stories, it's true, but I don't want it to like change your point of view, being like, hey, that guy does this crazy shit, so it must be like okay to do this shit. So, yeah, just don't do the shit that I do. And, yeah, also, I might be going to, well, I've been researching places, like haunted places to go to for, a video, or just to hang out with friends. So if you guys would like to see that, just let me know, because I think that would be dope to go to. And yeah, again, thank you guys for 62 subscribers. Yeah, so yeah. Remember to stay awesome, don't do drugs, and peace out.